Sergeant Preston of the Northwest Mounted Police with Yukon King, swiftest and strongest lead dog breaking the trail in the relentless pursuit of lawbreakers in the wild days of the Yukon. Back to the days of the gold rush as Sergeant Preston with his wonder dog Yukon King meets the challenge of the Yukon. This is the Yukon, the territory patrolled by Sergeant Preston, a land of roaring rivers and snow-capped mountains. It was a quiet land until the gold rush. Then overnight, the once peaceful country swarmed with gold-hungry men who braved every danger to realize their dreams. 15 Mile Creek, an isolated, little-known area. Here, John Dallas had struck it rich. With his son, Dallas worked the unregistered claim in secrecy.
Knock off, Jim. We've done enough work for today.
Dallas had been followed several times in the past year, only to vanish into the wilderness. The location of his valuable claim was a mystery which once again in late fall, two unscrupulous adventurers were trying to solve.
Stumped again. No sign of him or his claim. I tell you, Shanto, I'm fed up. A week of tramp in this wilderness is enough. You can stay if you want to, but I'm heading back to Dawson. Maybe I can get some information on Dallas there.
We're doing well, son.
Dad, I can't take this any longer.
Why? What's the trouble, Jim?
Look at my hands. I can hardly bend my fingers. If I continue with this kind of work, I'll never play the violin again.
Violin? Why don't you get that nonsense out of your head?
Dad, try to understand. I'm a musician. The Yukon is no place for me.
This is a man's country, Jim. And we'll get into your blood if you'll give it half a chance.
You've always done what you've wanted to. I'm entitled to the same privilege. I'm leaving.
There's a fortune in the ground out there, and it's all yours. This is a map and general location of the claim. It's in your name and ready to record.
I don't want it. I just want a chance to lead my own life.
All right, go ahead. But I won't stake you to a red cent.
I'll make my way with my violin.
Jim, when you get through with this foolishness, file this and come back.
So you want to see your violin playing, friend, eh? Well, come on.
Any luck?
No. Searched everything in the fiddle player's room.
Maybe he has the map on him if there is one.
It's a tenderfoot, isn't he? And there's got to be a map. How else can he find a way to his dad's claim?
Hey, King's one of your biggest fans, Jim.
My only one, I'm afraid.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. In spite of the fact that he loves good music, I've got to take him away. We've got a job to do. Come on, King. Come on, boy.
Leave that alone.
What's the matter? You think that thing was full of gold or something?
Well, it's worth more than that.
You see that? He won't let anyone near his fiddle. Maybe that's where he's hidden the map if it's not in his clothes.
I was only looking at your fiddle because I love music, Jim. Can you play Brahms' Lullaby? My mother used to sing that to me when I was just a little shaver.
Sure we can.
There was only some way we could get our hands on that fiddle.
There is.
About time this thing's paying off. We've been chasing them long enough.
Why don't you play some decent music? That's terrible.
Who said that? Yourself, my mother's music.
He did.
Insult my mother, will you?
Clear out of here, all of you. Get back to your tables.
Leave that violin alone.
I wasn't trying to steal your fiddle, kid. I just didn't want anybody to step on it.
Well, thanks.
You two started this. You're fired. Here's your money. Get out.
We didn't.
Get out.
Now we've got a perfect score. We've been fired from every spot in Dawson City.
It's the first time for fighting.
Oh, that's just an excuse. Nobody likes that highbrow music of yours, Jim.
I'll try and change in the next job.
Any idea where we can get another job, Sergeant Preston?
Well, you might try a freeze out. The town's booming. Just a couple days' journey upriver. Several pack outfits leaving here daily with supplies.
We'll try and join one.
Good, I might pass you on the trail then. I'm leaving tomorrow to settle some mine disputes. Fine. Come on, King.
I happened to overhear part of your conversation. My name's Hunch Miller. I got a pack train leaving for Freeze out in a few hours.
You've got a habit of showing up at the right time. My name's Jim Dallas.
Hi, glad to know you, Jim.
This is Eddie McCoy.
Hello, Eddie.
How much will the trip cost?
$30 apiece.
We don't have it.
How much you got?
50.
Well, I guess that'll do. Get your baggage together and meet me at the livery stable. Take a 5-minute rest. You and your fiddle. You could have prevented all this trouble if you'd have dropped it and kept your horse under control.
I'm sorry. You're sorry. My accordion fell in the canyon.
You two are going to have to hoof it the rest of the way. I'll deliver the supplies, then come back and look for the stock.
I'll round up the stray and bring it to freeze out, Hunch. Jim can deliver his horse at the same time.
I guess that's agreeable. bungling idiot.
Just how many chances do you think we're going to have to accidentally get rid of young Dallas and grab that violin?
I would have gotten it if the Mountie hadn't shown up. I'm not keen about having him on our trail.
Well, I'm not keen about killing either, but we may have to do some yet. Finding out where old John has staked his claim will be worth the risk. Now get going. We'll work something out when we reach town.
By nightfall, Sergeant Preston had rounded up the stray horses and made camp for the tenderfoot musicians.
Quite a bit of that violin, don't you, Jim?
It was my mother's. She taught me to play. Wanted me to study in Europe, but Dad has other ideas.
What kind of a violin is it?
It's a Guarnerius.
Guarnerius? No wonder you've gone to such pains to take care of it. Valuable instrument like that.
But it isn't much use now that we're out of a job. Why don't you take us into 15 Mile Creek? We could stake out claims near your dad's place.
I'm not showing that location to anyone, Eddie, because Dad hasn't filed his claim.
But I'm your pal. I've stuck with you till I've gone broke. If you ask me, the time's come to borrow money on your violin for a grub stake. Even if you won't go to your dad's place, there must be plenty of spots where we can try our luck. And I'll do all the hard work so you won't hurt your hand.
I can do my share of the work. Sergeant, is there a pawn shop in Freezeout?
Well, Rye Pulley runs one. He's a friend of mine.
Remember, I'm not changing my mind. As soon as you've started and I've enough to redeem my violin, I'm pulling out.
Hello, King.
Hi, Mr. Pulley. Hello, Lucy.
Sergeant Preston, good to see you.
I want you to meet a couple of friends of mine, Jim Dallas and Eddie McCoy. Mr. Rye Pulley and his daughter, Lucy.
Well, how do you do, Jim? Hello, Eddie. Glad to know you. What can I do for you?
Jim wants to borrow some money on his violin, Mr. Pulley. It's a Guarnerius.
Guarnerius. Well, I have several imitations here, but I haven't seen a real one in years. Oh. Yeah, that looks accurate, all right. Yep. I've handled a lot of violins, and I know something about them. Yeah, I'll take a chance on it.
I'm going over to the recorder's office, Jim. You two fellas get organized. I suggest you start prospecting up toward McKay.
Thanks for the tip, Sergeant. We will.
All right, I'll see you later.
Thanks.
Bye, Mr. Pulley.
Goodbye, Sergeant.
Bye,
Preston. How much money do you want, Jim?
Well, would 1,000 be too much?
You have more if you wanted some.
No, that's all I need. I want to be able to redeem it as quickly as I can. Would you be sure and keep it locked up, Mr. Pulley?
Don't worry, Edward Various. Well, now, let's see. Here we are. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. There you are. $1,000. Now, I'll just give you your receipt. Check. Here you are.
Thank you, Mr. Pulley.
Hey, just a minute. There appears to be a paper inside.
I know. Would you please just leave it right in there?
Sure.
I'll see you at the Mercantile.
Look, he doesn't have the violin. He must have pawned it.
Good. And he'll be carrying a map on him.
Now we're all set, Jim. 2 well-equipped prospectors. We'll take Sergeant Preston's suggestion and head toward McKay.
Think they're headed for old John's claim, Shanto. Why don't we just follow them?
Because maybe they'd spot us and lead us on a wild goose chase. No, Now, we need that map to be sure.
Hold it right there. All right, climb down.
What is this, some kind of a joke, Shadow?
Search him.
You can't do that.
Shut up.
Where's that map?
Just what kind of a map am I supposed to have?
As if you didn't know. The one the old man's claimed, the one you've been carrying around on that fiddle.
I'm beginning to see why you took such an interest in me, Shadow.
Here's a pawn ticket. Maybe the map's still in the violin.
Well, we'll soon find out. We'll take him back to the cabin, tie him up, and then head back to town. Get on those horses. Come on, move!
Afternoon, gentlemen. What can I do for you?
We'd like to redeem this.
The violin's in the back room. I'll get it. I shouldn't turn this over to anybody but Jim Dallas. It's very valuable.
We bought the pawn ticket.
Well, have you got a bill of sale or a receipt?
No, he didn't give us one.
Well, in that case, I'm sorry.
Quick! And the police! Dad's been hurt! It wasn't Jim Dallas. There were two men. I've seen them around, but I don't know who they are.
Can you describe the men, Lucy?
No. It all happened so quickly.
A map. Violin. A map.
Who were they? Who were they, Rye?
He's fainted again, Sergeant. He'll have to be kept quiet.
Don't worry, Lucy. Take good care of him, will you, Doc? Come on, King. From what they say, Jim might be in trouble, King. We've got to find him.
Sergeant Preston was concerned with these things: the recovery of a valuable violin, the arrest of two dangerous criminals, and the safety of Jim Dallas and Eddie McCoy. He decided first to find the young musicians and make sure they were all right. He felt almost certain that tenderfeet like Jim and Eddie would have left Freeze Out by the main trail. He hoped to find them camping along it, or at least meet someone who had seen them. At a point where the trail turned away from the creek, he spotted signs of possible trouble. A thicket was torn and beaten down as though some kind of violent action had taken place there. From hoof marks and footprints in the sandy soil, he read that 4 men and 5 horses, one a pack horse, had been in the area. Jim, Eddie, and the 2 criminals could account for the men. The 5th horse might well have been the musician's pack animal. He followed the tracks to the edge of the creek. Indications were that the party had crossed it.
The footprints end here, King. Probably took to the stream bed. Question is, did they go upstream or downstream? Probably headed north. Okay, is the closest town. Let's go up there and see if we can find out what happened to Jim and Eddie. Come on, King.
right, where's that paper that was inside? Talk! Come on. Where's your old man's claim? All right. Hunch, you take Eddie outside. And if I don't call you in 30 seconds, get rid of him. And you're next.
I'll tell you. The mine's near Oro Grande. Up the stream, the first trail to the left.
You better be telling me the truth. Hunch, I'll be back as soon as I can.
Fiddle sure makes pretty music.
How about let me play you a tune?
If I untie you, you'll try to escape.
With you holding a gun on me, I wouldn't have a chance.
That's right. You wouldn't have a chance. Let's have a concert.
I'll need the bow.
Play.
What's the matter, King? You hear something? Well, that's not the trail of McKay. They must have changed their plans.
You lying double-crosser. Steer me up a blind canyon? And you ought to have your head examined. Suppose somebody heard him playing. Now I'm through fooling around. One more move, Preston, and I'll kill you. Get this dog off! Get this dog off me!
Back, King, back! All right, get up, on your feet. Come on. Get over. I arrest you two in the name of the Crown. Come here, Jim.
Your arrest comes too late to save your violin, Jim.
Don't be too sure, Eddie. Don't be too sure.
Good thing King's ears are sharp and heard that violin. Otherwise, I'd have missed the trail to the cabin.
I'm sorry you lost your violin, son. I know how much it meant to you. Maybe now you'll be content to come back to the claim and settle down.
Here's Jim Guarnerius. I was suspicious of Hunch and Shanto and gave him an imitation.
I knew it wasn't mine the minute I saw it.
And another thing, the paper's still inside this one.
You're a real man, Jim. I see it now. The way you didn't tell them where our claim is.
To be a fine musician, Mr. Dallas, takes as much courage as battling the Yukon for gold.
You're right. From now on, we're going to understand each other better.
I don't know how to thank you for all you've done, Mr. Poley.
Play.
Well, King, this case is closed.